Hello, welcome to what I assume is the next video. Well, actually, it should be, because I just spent all day editing the last two. So, um, hello. Um, so, the updates, what do we do? Right, so, I think the last thing you would have seen, we were going into Duncannon to stay at kind of outdoorsy, the hostel. So we um, stayed there last night, and because it's, well, at least the description on Far Out said it was like an outfit or like a like an outdoor store. So I figured I might be able to get you know to get shoes and things. But no, they had like a very like a halfway decent like resupply. So we got some food. They had a few bits of like little pieces of gear, but they didn't have like full. Like it wasn't like a full outfitter. So um, we called around a few shuttle drivers to take us to REI, which is like big chain outdoor store, kind of like Go Outdoors or something like that, but better. Um, and yeah, someone. I think the earliest we could find someone that was then free was like 2:30. So we basically spent all day just relaxing at the hostel, basically. Um, Went to 7-Eleven, got Slurpees and hot dogs, which is good. We ate the ate the leftover pizza we had from last night. Um, what else did we do? Yeah, we got picked up by the shuttle driver, taken to REI. So I got new shoes, very fancy. I got new shorts, which are incredibly short, and I got a knee brace for the sort of knee pain I've been having. So the the pain is kind of come and gone throughout the day, here and there. It's usually helped if I stretch properly and stuff like that. But I just bought this brace to just kind of help support it a bit, and it seemed fine on the climb up here. But yeah, so we left the hostel at like 4:30. 4:30. Yeah, it was like a real. We left real late and just did just a little under 5 miles to the first shelter, which is basically just crossed the Susquehanna River, um, then went up a nice steep climb up onto the ridge, and yeah, like I say, stopped at this shelter. So yeah, we're only did a few miles, but you know, we're at least it's more than nothing, and it saves us $25 of staying at a hostel again. So yeah, first report on the shoes is good up this hill, like stepping on the rock. So I was using um, the Ultra Lone Peaks. So the first and second set of shoes that I've had have been the Lone Peaks, but just with the amount of rocks and stuff in Pennsylvania, it's not called Rocksylvania for no reason. It's well, that's the nickname it's given on the trail, and they're not wrong. And it's only going to get worse with like nice pointy rocks sticking out of the trail, and the Lone Peaks were kind of starting to really hurt my feet with because they're supposed to be like super light and they're pretty thin soles and stuff, which was fine for the majority of terrain we've encountered so far. But now I need something with a bit more cushioning, so I was hoping to get the Olympus, but they didn't have any at REI, so I've kind of got the middle ground one, which is the Timps. So they've got a bit more cushioning, so they definitely felt a lot better coming up the hill on all those rocks. So that's good. The last ones had about 500 miles on them, just over, but they the tread was basically like one smooth. There was like nothing left on the bottom of them, so it was only a matter of time before like I stepped on like a wet rock and just went down the hill. So yeah, I think it was about time for a change. But yeah, I think we're the only ones here, so we're going to get set up and yeah, head to bed. So I'll see you in the morning. Hi, good morning. We are just leaving the shelter. We had a very warm climb up yesterday, and then I stayed in the shelter last night. Korik slept in her tent, and then sure enough, at pretty much the exact moment my alarm went off, I was like, oh, time to start getting up. The heavens opened and the big rainstorm came through, so
lucky me.
Yeah, Korik's tent got soaked. I was in the dry, but I did have some clothes out on there's like someone hooked up like a clothesline outside, so I like rushed out to get that in before the worst of the rain came. And in grabbing my t-shirt off the line, I also grabbed a hornet that was lying on there, so I got stung on my pinky finger by a hornet, which was fun. So yeah, we've had a fun morning. Not sure what we're doing today. We're just going to keep going, see how my knee holds up and stuff. I don't expect there will be too much like footage or views or b-roll today, because this is the view. Like, the trail just goes off into the fog, so probably not going to be too much interesting footage there. But we'll see how we get on. New shoes are holding up well, it seems, in the mud, so that's good. I'm getting attacked by plants. Alright, I'm going to put this down, or I'm going to walk into some nettles or something. So, alright, well, that's very ominous. I came out of nowhere. Just those few steps, I didn't see that earlier.
A bit eerie.
Yeah. Alright, let's get going. Hi, good morning. So, as I as I said yesterday, there was basically no footage from yesterday because it was, well, first of all, it was a very grey day. There wasn't really anything to see. And second of all, because we actually ended up just doing quite a short day. So we only did just less than 7 miles to the next shelter. Because, well, I made the mistake of believing the weather report, which said that there was going to be like torrential rain and thunderstorms all afternoon, starting from like 1 p.m. and then, so we got there at like 11, and we're like, well, I really fancy the next shelter wasn't for like another 18 miles, so we're like, well, we won't make that. And the next good campsite wasn't for like 5 miles, so like, I figured if we leave now, we'll just get caught in the rain, putting up a tent in the rain. Everything's going to get soaked. Or at least that was the thought. And then as we were sat there, the rain kept getting pushed back, and then eventually it just kept saying like, oh no, it's raining now, and it just wasn't. It was still grey, but it wasn't like thunder and rain like it was saying. It did eventually rain in the evening, and then quite a lot through the night, but yeah, not nearly as much as we thought, which is obviously why we stayed at that shelter. But yeah, anyway, we caught up with some friends and met some new people at the shelter, so it was a nice evening in the end, just talking, chatting to people. So today it is actually raining. I'm sporting my very fancy way of wearing my raincoat, where I just put my arm through the zips, through the pit zips rather than through the sleeves, to try and keep cool. Because obviously if my arms get wet, it's just my skin, it'll just dry. But if all my stuff gets wet, then that'll chill me when it stops raining and when we stop. So anyway, yeah, today we are doing the 18 miles to that next shelter. But it's raining now, but it should brighten up this afternoon, so yeah, we'll see how we get on. Good morning. After another day with no footage. I apologise to the people of Pennsylvania for what I'm about to say, but Pennsylvania has been quite boring so far. Like, I know we've gone past a few like viewpoints, but like whenever we have been up high, the clouds have always been in. So maybe it's not Pennsylvania's fault, but like not being able to see anything. And then yesterday was just like 18 or so miles of just this, basically. Just like, it's very pretty after like, you know, mile after mile of the same thing. It's doesn't make for interesting footage, for one thing, for you guys, but for me, it's just like, you know, it's just a slog. There's not really like a, you know, like much of a change in scenery or pace to kind of make the day more interesting. Hopefully today will be an exception, because we have we're stopping past a hostel. We're not stopping there tonight, we're just stopping there in about 6 miles or so to get some snacks, to do a bit of resupply, just hang out for a bit. Also, before then, part of the trail is flooded, and has been since 2018, since beavers moved in and flooded, built a dam on one of the streams and flooded part of the trail. So there is a diversion in place that you can take. Alternatively, you can walk the official route, which goes over the top of the dam. So we're going to try that and see if we end up with wet feet, which we probably will, but yeah, that'll be an interesting one. So we've got about 17.5 miles today to get to a shelter, which is like a proper like enclosed cabin rather than just like a little wooden structure, which would be cool. All of which is to say we're progressing nicely on schedule to get to the town of Hamburg, Pennsylvania on Sunday, and then I think we're going to zero there on Monday. So it'll be our first proper zero day since Harper's Ferry, which should be about 200 miles ago at this by the time we get there. So yeah, hopefully there will actually be some footage from today and something for you guys to look at, and it's not just going to be me talking and apologising for no footage. So alright, I'll see you in a bit. Hello, I am very well rested and well fed. So last night we stayed at a place called the Route 501 shelter, which is not like, you know, some of the typical shelters on the AT. It's like a little cabin with bunk beds. Not really bunk beds, like platforms, you know, obviously put your own sleeping stuff on, but you know, and there's like a caretaker nearby, so it's all kept real clean. There's a nice table inside, they had games, stuff like that. And because it's near a road, we could order pizza. So we had pizza and wings and stuff delivered again. So I've got some of that left for lunch. And today we are entering what at least a few people, more than a few people have told us, is kind of the worst parts of Pennsylvania and giving it the nickname of Rocksylvania. So I'm already walking quite slowly because there's still quite pointy rocks in the ground. But yeah, there's people said after this point the rocks can get pretty bad, and we've already gone through patches where it's been bad before, so that's interesting to see how that goes. But it might make for more interesting walking, which I'm not going to complain about too much. I know with yesterday we actually had more interesting stuff going past, and obviously crossed that beaver dam, which was a nice little challenge, which I managed to make across with completely dry feet. So I'll take that. Some of the branches were like, they weren't like locked in place with other trees or anything like that. They were just floating on the water, and then some of them were locked in place. They weren't like so it was kind of a bit of a gamble of which one you stepped on. Like some of them would just roll freely or sink, some of them were solid. So it was a fun little mind sweeping type exercise. Find out which one is where you could stand. But yeah, so today we're making the push. We're hoping to get at least 15 miles to a shelter, but ideally I guess we want to try and push maybe to a tent site beyond there, because tomorrow we want to get to Port Clinton, which is at the moment it's 24 miles away, and from there we'll get a shuttle to Hamburg, where we're going to Zero tomorrow. Not tomorrow, the day after, sorry. So the 15 takes us to a shelter and gives us 9 miles tomorrow, which we can do pretty quickly in the morning. But obviously the more we do today, the less we have to do in the morning. And the descent down into Port Clinton looks absolutely horrendous on the topography. It looks like it near vertical drop or something. So the less we have to do on that day, the better. But yeah, I'm still just picking my way over it. Like, it's not even that bad here. You see, like, you've kind of got to like pick your way through the rocks so you don't step on something without paying attention and breaking your ankle. But apparently it gets worse, so looking forward to that. Anyway, I'll catch you in a bit. Alright, cool little thing we realised yesterday. So we are currently at mile 1197.4, and the trail length for this year, I like your little bug bonnet.
Thank you.
The trail length this year is 2197.4, which means we have
only 1,000
miles to go from this point, which basically means
it's the final countdown.
okay. Yeah, we're now on what's it called? Everything is now on a countdown of, we're in triple-digit miles on the way down, which is pretty cool. So we got to 1,000 miles a few days ago.
A few days ago.
Like a week ago.
Maybe like 2 weeks ago.
Oh.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago.
Something like that. Yeah, we had some time off, didn't we?
Yeah.
So yeah, and then less than 1,000 miles to go. So that's pretty cool. And in like 2.6 miles, we'll get to mile 1,200. So I'll see you there. Let's go.
I look stupid.
You're going to keep singing?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, there we have it. 1,200 miles. That's another fun little milestone. If I'm honest, I'm kind of less enthused about each of the 100-mile like milestones at this point, just because we're kind of clearing them pretty quickly now. We're like every week or so we're clearing like another 100 miles. It's still pretty cool to go, but I think now I'm kind of like, my focus is shifting more on like clearing states. So like the states, like, you know, there's like 200 and something miles of Pennsylvania, then there's like however many of New Jersey, New York, Connecticut. Do you know what I mean? Like those are kind of, those start feeling like we're making progress further north now. So it's still cool, but it's just weird how that's like, there's that mental shift has happened where I was like, oh yeah, we'll get to 1,200 today, that's cool. But actually more, I'm thinking, so like next week I'm not thinking, oh, we'll get to 1,300. I'm thinking, we'll be in New Jersey, that's pretty cool. So, all right, I'm gonna stop vlogging, there's people coming. Alright, we just got to a shelter. It's not the shelter we're staying at. We're just stopping for a break, but see, trail magic comes in all forms. Because someone left this at the shelter. Or a few bottles anyway. I will check that the seal is intact before I drink it, but you know. It's good to see. Hi everyone. Yes, welcome to what hopefully is a short day. We've got about 3.5, 4 miles to get to Port Clinton, where we're then getting a shuttle or hitchhike or something into the town of Hamburg, where we plan on zeroing tomorrow. Oh, nice and breezy. So we've actually got a bit of a view from here. Oh, there we go, focus. So, yeah. Rocksylvania continues to live up to its name. So, I know we said we've only got like a couple of miles today, but it does include one of the steepest sections we've done. In fact, the steepest section we've done so far. There's about half a mile where it goes down towards Port Clinton, the trail that is. But I think the elevation change is equivalent to like 17 or 1800 feet a mile, which is basically, from the sounds of it, is almost just like a ladder going straight down on like rocks and everything. So that, I don't know if I'll be able to get footage of that because I might be focusing too hard on not falling to my death, but we'll yeah, we should be fine. Just gotta take it slow, take it, you know, make sure our footing's good, use our trekking poles. Yeah, and then once we're down there, then we can get to Wendy's or Cracker Barrel or both. One at one and then the other, who knows. Anyway, alright, wish us luck, we'll see you there. I'm saying it's very hard to convey just how steep this is. Going down, yeah. So the trail behind, that doesn't look too bad, but this is looking like level. And it just goes up, and it's been doing that for a while. And then, yeah, it's, I mean, you can kind of tell by like this, like that tree is vertical, and then the ground is at like that. I don't know. It's interesting to say the least, but we're almost down safely. So just give my knees a break and then finish up in a sec.